Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to Tillis Tell Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is A Blessing to Acquire a Friend. I adapted it from a WhatsApp Hasidic Stories group posting. Much of the story is told in first person by Rabbi Alta Bucket, the emissary of the Lubavitcher Rebbe in Lexington, Massachusetts. Due to the preparations for the 5744 Lag Bomer Children's Parade and the associated heavy activity in front of the world headquarters of Chabad at 770 Eastern Parkway in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, it was decided that the couples who desperately wished to receive blessings to have children from the Lubavitcher Rebbe should not stand outside 770 as usual. Instead, they should wait at 10 a.m. near the door of the Rebbe's house, a few streets away at 1304 President Street, where they would have more quiet and privacy. Knowing the enormous crowd that would gather there, for it was well known that Lag BaOmer was a propitious time to receive a blessing for children from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, tradition going back to at least more than 200 years. The Rebbe is giving blessings for children on Lag BaOmer. An organizers committee was established to maintain order, directed by the young men of the Kollel, the post yeshiva center for advanced Torah study for young married men, of which Alter Buket was then a member. He takes over now. As it was not my nature to push or order people around, I had requested to be in charge of the area immediately outside of the Rebbe's car door. My task would be to open it as soon as the Rebbe arrived and to close it as soon as the Rebbe is seated, so as to ensure that the Rebbe's driver could depart without any delay. I will never forget the scene that day. There were many couples, people from Chabad and those who were not from Chabad. Even several Satmar couples were waiting for the Rebbe to leave his house. The Rebbe came out at 10 a.m., but was unable to reach his car until 10:20. That is just to get from the building to the car parked on the sidewalk right in front of 770. It took 20 minutes. People were crying and screaming for the Rebbe's attention. It was extremely intense. The Rebbe got into his car and was seated. I began to close the door when suddenly someone stuck his head into the car and cried out to the Rebbe that he is married already for several years and has no children, and he hurriedly said his name, his wife's names, and their mother's names to the Rebbe. Meanwhile, the pressure on the door was mounting. I tried with all my might to hold the door open so that he wouldn't get crushed. His head wouldn't get smashed. I happened to notice that this individual was a Satmar Chassid. The Rebbe blessed him, and then, before the man could withdraw, I heard the Rebbe add something unusual. He looked directly at the Satmar man and said in Yiddish something like, "The child will need to have someone to play with." The guy did not get it at all, what the Rebbe is trying to say. So the Rebbe said to him, "Zocht Amen." Say Amen. It finally registered, and he responded with a loud shout, "Oh, mine," and moved away from the vehicle. I closed the door, and the Rebbe's car pulled away. Years pass. I move on to become the emissary of the Lubavitcher Rebbe in the Boston area in Lexington, Massachusetts. Life goes on. 15 years after that Lag BaOmer incident, on the 24th of Menachem Av, which that year was August 6th, 1999, in memory of the birthday of his father, Rabbi Chaim Meir Bucket, of blessed memory, Rabbi Alta Bucket decides to visit his father's grave, as it is located in the Montefiore Cemetery in Queens, New York, which is also the resting place of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. It meant he would have to leave from Boston shortly after midnight in order to arrive around between 4 and 5 a.m. That would give him enough time to visit his father's location as well as the Rebbe's and still be able to get back to Boston by 9 a.m. to start his regular workday. Wow. At 5 a.m., Rabbi Alta Buket is standing in the Ohel and is reading his Minor Lashon, a collection of prayers, scriptural verses, and quotes from the Zohar, said at the burial site of a tzaddik, of a pure holy Jew. Then he notices a Satmar Chassid enter with two young boys. It struck him as strange that they should be here at such an hour. His bewilderment only increased when, after they all finished reciting the Minor Lashon, he watched the father turn to the children and tell them to take out the Mimer, a Hasidic discourse of a Chabad Rebbe, and the boys took out the sheets of the particular Mimer that is traditionally recited by Chabad boys who reach the age of Bar Mitzvah, and they read or recite by heart the entire Mimer right there at the Ohel. After leaving the Ohel, Rabbi Alter meets up with his group once again as they are standing in the tent near the coffee stand. He cannot hold them back from approaching the man to satisfy his curiosity. He goes over to him and asks, "What brings you here at such an hour?" The Satmar Chassid responds, "These are the Rebbe's children. They were born as a result of the Rebbe's bracha." He continues to tell Rabbi Bucket that he had been married several years with no children, and so he went one day to request a blessing for the children from the Rebbe, and the Rebbe blessed him. Then he said, "The Rebbe told me the child will need to have someone to play with. Say Amen. And as a result of this blessing, my wife gave birth to the twins who are here with me, as you see in front of you." Rabbi Bucket interrupted him, all emotional from what he just heard. "Tell me, when exactly did this happen? Was it perhaps on Lag BaOmer in 5744, 1984, outside the Rebbe's house?" Yes, on Lag BaOmer in 5744, outside the Rebbe's house on President Street, inside the Rebbe's car, exclaims the Satmar man. "How did you know about that?" "I can't believe it," Rabbi Bacha said. "I am the one who held the door open with all my might that it shouldn't get slammed shut on your head." "That's right, of course," the Satmar Chassid says, looking into Buckett's eyes to see if he could remember his face from so long ago. "And now he said to Rabbi Bucket, you are seeing the completion of the cycle. These are my twins, born in the merit of the Rebbe's blessings, 2 years after that Lag BaOmer, and today is their bar mitzvah. They are my only two children. We never had any others, and they are the Rebbe's children." Indeed, many of the children born into the world to previously infertile women, and for all those couples still waiting for their first offspring, may this year 5786 be the year of conception. Tafshin Pei Vav Tia Shanat Peru Uruvu. That the numbers 5786 are an acronym for the word. This should be the year of being fruitful and multiplying. So maybe this year the year of conception, and next year the celebration of the long-awaited event. Say Amen. Shavua Tov. Have an excellent week.